I have 3 babies, 3 children under 3, and I didn't give birth in the hospital. My husband, his cousin planned on going to medical school, and she was telling me something about Black women being treated differently in the hospital when they give birth. I know for like, but for Black women, there's documentaries about it. And she was like, watch this. So I watched this video. I'll put it on the screen because I don't remember what it was called. Basically, for most of human existence, babies were born at home. Going to a hospital to give birth was not a thing. And I hadn't really thought about it like that. And when you go to a hospital and you give birth in a hospital, they treat it like an emergency, not like something that naturally happens every day, which it does naturally happen every day. Nowadays, honestly, giving birth at the hospital, it feels mandatory. We have to go or we're supposed to go. And I was learning for Black women, they really push C-sections because they make more money and they get you out of the hospital faster. They're making more money off of you than if you were just staying there. In terms of the emergency part of giving birth, I think it's like only 1 to 2% of births have some type of medical emergency. And when you have Jesus, Jesus gave you the baby. There's not going to be a medical emergency. If something happens, it's because it was God's divine plan. Also, they push stuff on you and then the drugs. But back in the day, people didn't take drugs to give birth. And birth in general, biblically, it's a curse. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time because you have this beautiful baby. But the labor part, the pain, is the curse. And there's a verse, I'll put it on here, but basically it says, with labor, you're pushed to the brink of death. You go through death, but God is the one that keeps you alive. Eli, the one who raised up Samuel as a prophet, his sons disobeyed the Lord. His sons were basically mocking the Lord. God punished Eli and his whole family line. They all were murdered in war. And it says in the Bible that one of the sons' wives died in labor. It shows you that God's the one that keeps you alive during labor. That's how painful it is. A scientist was saying that the pain of labor is like having multiple fractures, which is like death. It's like you experience death and then you come back. Labor is no joke. Women have been doing it every day for thousands of years. I'm more into natural stuff and what God has given us and using that for our bodies and for our health. We all know Big Pharma, ain't it? So God knows what they're putting in the vaccines and the medicines. They could put anything in there. We would not know. We're not of this world, and the systems of this world, they were demonically influenced. You think they're going to look out for the Lord's people? So I decided to give birth at home. My first home birth was a water birth, and that was a whole thing because the midwife that we hired was on vacation. When I went into labor, she already knew she was going to be on vacation around the time I was due. She had a backup ready to go, and then we also hired a doula. The doula showed up first, and she was there when our firstborn, our son, was delivered. The backup midwife didn't show up until after the baby was born. It was nerve-wracking and scary because it was my first time. After giving birth, I had ripped, and the midwife couldn't tell. It looked pretty bad, and I lost a lot of blood. So the doula and the midwife decided, but mainly the midwife decided that I should go to the hospital to get stitched up and to make sure that everything was okay. My husband has the baby, and he's by himself with a baby for the first time, a newborn baby, at our apartment. I'm wheeled off to the hospital. I'm in the ambulance by myself. He drives to the hospital with newborn baby in the car seat to the hospital. This was during COVID 2021, still the COVID era, and they weren't letting anyone have a visitor. I had to go to a hospital room by myself, just having given birth for the first time. My husband could not be in the room. My baby could not be in the room. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to be breastfeeding the baby, and they said, oh no, the baby can't be in the room. Thank God, my doula, she has kids as well. My doula pumped breast milk to give to my husband so that my son could eat. He went home because our apartment was literally 2 blocks down, which was amazing. I'm talking to Jesus like, what is going on? Like, I thought this was going to be an amazing experience. I'm being separated from my husband, from my baby. It felt mad demonic, right? I go to the bathroom, they're checking me in, and the doctor comes in. She was asking me what's going on. I explained. Basically, she berated me the whole time. My first baby, the hormones are crazy, especially after birth. I had a baby in me for 9 months. Now the baby's not in my body anymore. My brain is all over the place. My emotions are all over the place. I've just been separated from my family. And my new baby, she's berating me like, oh, if the midwife wasn't able to stitch you up. She shouldn't have been a midwife. Basically saying that I shouldn't have a baby at home. I should be going to a hospital to have a baby. She was straight up mean to me. There was one woman who wheeled me to my room and made sure I had water. Then there was one lady who was putting in all the information into the system. And then there was a guy who helped. He wasn't a full doctor yet. He was there to help stitch me up. And then there was another lady who basically was a bedside manner type of nurse the whole time I was in there. The doctor was like, "You're probably going to need a transfusion. You're going to need all this blood." She was mean. And everyone else in there was mad quiet. They didn't say anything to me. They were just like listening. It's crazy because when she would leave the room, some of the workers would say, "I'm so sorry that she's talking to you like this. I think it's so beautiful that you had your baby at home. Congratulations." They asked me the gender of the baby. The doctor never asked me the gender, the name. She never said, "Are you okay?" She was basically cussing me out without cussing me out. Then they got me ready to get stitched up and they put lidocaine, I think it was, down there. I felt everything and they knew I felt a lot. They were shocked actually at how well I took getting stitches down there like that. While the doctor was stitching me up, she was showing and having the guy do it as well. The lady who was giving me the good bedside manner, she was talking to me the whole time. "How's your baby? What's the gender? What's his name?" She would say, "You're so strong." And you could tell the doctor did not like it at all. You could just tell by her face, her whole attitude. The doctor even snarked at her a couple of times while she was being nice to me. Then everything was all done. She leaves. The doctor comes in later and she's, "Surprisingly, you don't need a transfusion. You have more than enough blood." Apparently, the amount of blood that I lost, it's all Jesus. The amount of blood that I lost, she was like, "You're going to need a transfusion." She was basically like, "You're stupid for what you did and you could have, like, you've lost so much blood." She was shocked that I didn't need a transfusion. But God made sure that blood was pumping. I think that was the last time I saw her. So I gave birth at 6:30 p.m. and I was there until midnight, 1 a.m., something like that. This was a few years ago. When someone was in the hospital, there's all the beeping and the lights and the clock ticking, and my phone was on red because I needed to call my husband when I was all done so he could come pick me up with the baby. It was miserable. It was miserable being in the hospital and being separated from my baby and my husband, and it was a little scary. I had to hold back tears, but everything worked out. Before I was discharged, the guy who came in to discharge me with the paperwork, the guy who helped with the surgery, he basically said, "You're so strong." The way how I handled the surgery and the pain, he was like, "No one has ever done that before." And he apologized for the doctor. After the doctor had left, everyone apologized for her behavior. And it just confirmed to me that this is why I'm not giving birth in a hospital. I would assume I'm supposed to be cared for no matter what happened. Like, even if there's a criminal that goes to a hospital, they're supposed to treat him as a patient. I'm just confused. Why am I being treated this way? And it really just confirmed everything for me. I'm not giving birth in hospital. My husband picked me up. I think it was between midnight and 1 a.m. And I went home and then I had a home birth with my daughter, my second born, and a home birth with my second son, my third born. Those two births, I didn't do water births. I just gave birth in our bedroom. I didn't use any pain meds. It's very painful, but it's so beautiful. And the best, in my opinion, the best part is that once you give birth, you're already home. You're already in bed. You already have your comforts. Your family can come and meet the newborn and their siblings can meet, and everything is just so beautiful. Also with hospitals, the placenta, right? I found out about the placenta. You don't just grow a baby, you grow an organ called the placenta, which is what feeds the baby. And after you give birth, about 20 minutes later, you push out the placenta, which is it's a big organ, very bloody. I know some people send it to like places to get it turned into pills and things so that they can eat it. But when you're in the hospital, they don't let you keep the organ. They don't let you keep the placenta. They take it away from you. They don't even ask you if you want it. So I just made this whole organ that was in me for 9 months, and you're going to take it away from me? And then I find out later that they sell that thing. They make tens of thousands of dollars on every placenta. And it's crazy because in America, if they sold the placenta, like if that was an option where you could say, "I want to sell my placenta," and then you get the profits, your medical bills would be taken care of. Even if you didn't have insurance, there would be no medical bill. The whole thing is just a hot mess. But if you are going to have birth in a hospital, I highly recommend hiring a doula, because a doula will fight for you. If you know you want to have a vaginal birth or you know you want to do certain things during labor or whatever, the doula will fight on your behalf to make sure that the nurses and the doctors don't bulldoze you into a pathway or a corner that you didn't plan on doing during your birth. My doula has told me several stories of times where she's had to tell the nurses, no, this is what we want. She's over here fighting these people. And you think if you're giving birth or you're in labor, you're in pain, you're emotional, right? You're not going to be able to stand up for yourself in the way that a doula could. And even the spouse, he doesn't know how everything works in a hospital. He's not going to be able to, and he's also going to be worried about you, worried about the baby. She's just told me many things. And I'm like, this confirms to me that if you give birth in a hospital, get a doula. But by God's grace, all three babies are healthy and happy, and I'm healthy and happy. If you tear, there is a natural way to heal. There are other countries that use different things, sleeves and stuff to heal. They don't do stitches. Because I was talking to my doula. I'm like, I don't want to go through what I went through last time. It was horrible. It was very rough for me. So I'm like, is there something else I can do? Is there like a natural way? Because what did people do back in the day? I'm starting to go, what did people do back in the day? What are the natural remedies for stuff? You use manuka honey and seaweed. That's it. Manuka honey and seaweed. And it has worked every time. That's it. No stitches. And it heals up beautifully. There's no scarring compared to stitches. It's so much nicer. I would recommend it to everyone. It's so natural. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or you're pregnant and you want to do your pregnancy differently. I would love to help you. I didn't have a sister growing up, but we can be sisters, okay? But we can be sisters, all right? I love you with the love of Jesus Christ, and I hope you have a blessed day.